Greetings, my name is Jeremy, and today I'm going to present to you about my paper entitled Decisional Procrastination, Role of Courage, Media Multitasking, and Planning Fallacy. Most of the time, obstacles in life are followed by a set of tasks and challenges in different contexts. Actions taken could differ, ranging from immediate action to delay into the last minute. Individuals that didn't immediately take action delay and avoid these actions by some time until they have the mood to do it. A common example of this phenomenon could be observed by looking at the example behavior of X. X was given an assignment from his lecturer that has a 3 weeks deadline. Because of the long time, he didn't touch and read any of the assignments. Then, 2 weeks and 5 days later, he was asked by his friends to help with their assignments. And then he panicked because he forgot all about it and put an all-nighter to finish the assignment. This phenomenon was called procrastination and was based on an interview conducted with some university students. Steed, Shannon, and Newville describe procrastination as a delay of an action. Take example of an X's behavior above, in which he chose to delay his assignment, and when the deadline neared, panic strikes. Perhaps the example of his behavior doesn't describe procrastination as a whole. In the task completion process, individuals may delay and avoid assignments due to their set of priorities, or perhaps they need some time to release some stress or take a break, etc. There are two types of delay. Some people delay to avoid undesired outcome, and some people delay for no solid reason. Therefore, there are two types of procrastination, which are functional and dysfunctional procrastination. Functional procrastination is a delay of task completion to find more compatible and suitable information so that the task result can be perfect, while dysfunctional procrastination is a delay of task completion with no clear purpose and direction. Dysfunctional procrastination is a form of unrelated activity which is not relevant in the context of the work. Therefore, the other form of dysfunctional procrastination is a decisional procrastination, which is a form of cognitive thinking that delays the decision-making of an assignment in order to face stressful situations, thus reducing the pressure in the mind to deal with other less stressful situations. Decisional procrastination is a tendency of incapability to decide in certain time range, described as an avoidance of decision-making. People deliberately delay making a decision because they chose to do other priorities that they perceive to be less stressful. Based on a survey conducted by Schroll, Watkins, and Olafson, roughly 70% of students worldwide tend to procrastinate, and more than 20% procrastinate on a daily basis. In Indonesia alone, Ursia Siaputra and Sutanto found that almost 57% of students procrastinate. The outcome of procrastination on students are unfinished assignments, rushed and unsatisfactory results, and high level of anxiety and guilt. Because of the high prevalence and harmful outcome of procrastination, there is a demand to underline what causes students to procrastinate. In addition, seeing the difficulty of eradicating procrastination in spite of the vast investigation out there, this paper suggested that there are more reasons underlying procrastinations that need to be known and understand. This present study focuses on decisional procrastination, a cognitive deviation that causes people to delay decisions. Individuals with high level of decisional procrastination tend to have conflicts in choosing information and ways to do assignments. Therefore, avoiding these conflicts, they distract themselves on less stressful activities. This paper hypothesized 3 variables that could predict decisional procrastination. The first variable is courage. There are advices and best practices describing what and how to combat procrastination. One of the most essential explanations about procrastination was of Bayati's paper, How to Erase Procrastination, which he stated that what happens in a moment of procrastination is, unconsciously, your fear takes over, and you start to focus on why it won't work, whether you can or can't do the tasks, and the possible implication of the task. These explanation and advice in combating procrastination were also supported by Burka and Yan, in which they mentioned that emotional roots of procrastinations involve feelings of fear, hopes, dreams, doubts, and pressures. However, many procrastinations don't recognize all what that's going on under the surface because they use procrastinations to avoid uncomfortable feelings. Therefore, the higher one's level of courage, the level of decisional procrastinations will be lowered. The other variable is media multitasking. Zubak defined multitasking as the engagement in individual and discrete tasks that are performed in succession. Because of the sequential processing of information, the concentration of tasks will be divided and scattered. Moreover, if addictive things such as internet, games, etc. are involved, the attention span will focus on enjoyable things other than the task at hand. Alice, Daniels, and Jaugery also found the limited processing in the brain sensory, which may cause attention to be easily distracted. Therefore, task completion will be delayed. Combining those insights, multitasking and procrastination have similarities in the limited processing, resulting in dysfunctional delays. Therefore, hypothesized that multitasking can predict the decisional procrastination in a positive way. The last variable is planning fallacy. Planning fallacy refers to the conviction that the current project will go as planned even though most projects from a relevant comparison set have failed to fulfill their planned outcomes. Planning fallacy was first introduced by Kahneman, Slovic, and Tversky by describing people's proneness to underestimate the time required to complete a project, even when they have considerable experience in the past failures to live up to planned schedules. Planning fallacy is caused by an individual's cognitive state of mind to underestimate the completion and planning, delaying the task by doing other insignificant tasks. These definitions and implications have compatibilities with procrastination. Therefore, this paper hypothesized that planning fallacy can predict decisional procrastination in a positive direction. In this study, the characteristics of participants were active university students, ages between 16 and 27 years old, and attending campus in Greater Jakarta region. The sampling technique was non-probability sampling, i.e. convenience sampling. The study used predictive correlation design with courage, media multitasking, and planning fallacy as the predictors, and decisional procrastination as a criterion. For measurement and procedure, the scale for measuring courage was adapted in Indonesian from the scale of Norton and Weiss. From the reliability test, the coefficient Kronberg alpha was found of the courage scale is around 0.825. For measuring multitasking behavior, the author adapted the media multitasking inventory questionnaire of Ophir, Nas, and Wagner, which was developed by Cardoso Leite et al., into Indonesian. This measurement gathers response about self-report and frequencies of simultaneous using of some kind of media. The characteristic of the measurement is factual, not latent variable. Therefore, no reliability and validity test needed. For measuring planning fallacy, the author constructed the scale based on conceptual comprehension from previous studies. All of the previous researches on planning fallacy uses experiment technique to gather the data. However, the author tried to capture the planning fallacy using a scale. From the reliability test, the coefficient Kronberg alpha found for planning fallacy scale is around 0.895. For measuring decisional procrastination, this study uses the Decisional Procrastination Questionnaire that was adapted and translated by Ling et al. In Indonesian based on Mann's study. The Kronberg alpha found for decisional procrastination is 0.840. The data were analyzed using multiple linear regression analysis to predict the decisional procrastination. As for the result, the participants were 76 males, 116 females, with the median age of 20.77 years old. As you can see, regression assumption is fulfilled, indicated by normal data distribution, free from heteroscedasticity, and multicollinearity does not occur. All the tolerance values for courage, planning fallacy, and media multitasking are greater than 0.1. Meanwhile, the VIF values for courage, planning fallacy, and media multitasking are less than 10. As for the regression result, courage, planning fallacy, and media multitasking can predict decisional procrastination with a percentage around 6.4%. The analysis for multiple regression showed that courage can predict decisional procrastination, which H1 was supported by empirical data. However, planning fallacy and media multitasking cannot predict it, which means H2 and H3 were not supported by empirical data. As for the discussion, courage can predict decisional procrastination. Prior to this present study, to our knowledge, no research has empirically confirmed the predictive power of courage toward procrastination. This study found that the higher the courage, the lower the decisional procrastination. Therefore, to prevent procrastination, one needs to instill courageous mindset in him or her, so that he or her can apply the mindset in any culture and work fields. It is also advised for the teacher or lecturer to not give an assignment in an intimidating way. Not as hypothesized, planning fallacy is not able to predict decisional procrastination. While planning fallacy has the potential to lead to procrastination, it also has other direction of influence. Wheeler stated that a person who makes planning fallacy can also have strong desires to finish tasks early. In this case, they do have a high initiation. They do not delay to start working on a task. However, they are too focused on the internal characteristics of the task and did not consider factors beyond the task itself. They are less aware or less tolerant that even don't usually unfold exactly as planned. Therefore, planning fallacy has two possible influences on the decisional procrastination, i.e. positive and negative. Then, the scores diminished each other so as to produce zero-summed or no correlation. Media multitasking was also found cannot predict decisional procrastination. Galush and Tasher found that multitasking is associated with cyberloafing, i.e. reduction of efforts in working on the main task and enhanced activities of non-relevant tasks, in which non-relevant task is done through the medium of the internet. Those findings connote that the internet multitasking and the associated cyberloafing contains psychological processes that are determined to productivity. Similar to planning fallacy, of which there is an ambiguity of the influences of media multitasking on decisional procrastination, i.e. negative and positive, it is not surprising that no predictive correlation was found between the two. Based on the discussion, methods and results that are stated above, this present study concludes that the affective variable, or the courage, is the main variable to predict decisional procrastination, while the cognitive and psychomotor, which is planning fallacy and media multitasking, variables cannot predict it. This concludes the end of the presentation. My name is Jeremy, and thank you.